Hello. I want to tell you guys how absolutely shit scared I am of something that isn't even happening. Mental nonsense, head spin, alert, security systems. The body's gone into complete fight or flight, which I've been yo-yoing in and out of for the last, definitely for the last 2 or 3 days, probably 3 days. And actually there's been quite a lot of it that's been quite insidious, that's been like popping in and out since my arrival here in India. Uh, so this is where I'm making the video from, and I wanna talk to you about yeah, I just want to like expose myself fully and say that. So um, with my clothes on, obviously. Um, yeah, that came out quite badly. But no, really, it's interesting actually, even thinking about that, exposing and clothes on, because this clothes, like if we're talking about like physical clothes, like the masks, the masks over how I truly feel and how I would truly interact if I was bearing myself completely with no fear of being exposed and no fear of being vulnerable. Um, it's like being completely naked and feeling completely at home with that in amongst some people who might be naked and a whole load of people wandering around with all their clothes on, you know, probably pointing fingers and laughing or whatever they'll be doing. But who knows? Or gazing in absolute delight. Um, but yeah, this thing about I'm unclothed now. So I have spent the last, where are we, 2004, nearly the end of, I've spent the last 5 years after I came across a new method of disassembling security structures that leave their imprints over through our system, through the mind-body, which was based on archetypal patterns. And I've been using that combined with the information that I also work with, which is how we individually move energy. So, and that's evolved, and it's become more and more apparent how those two things can work together to give us information, which is what the being game is. And I still haven't got it together to put it all on a website, but it will come. Anything that I have found really useful for my own experience, I just want to make it so that anybody can use it. And I feel really driven by that, but that's not what this video is about. So through that process, I've shed a lot of my layers of clothing that were keeping me both in an illusory sense. They were keeping me protected, which is bullshit, from the outside world, from the judgments and the views and the what other people think and all that kind of stuff. And they were also keeping me disconnected from my own self and my own authenticity, and from being able to actually navigate in a moment to moment, the present day moment sense, right now, with fluidity, knowing that I am the source of the experience. I am my experience in here that is bringing itself into each moment is not dependent on how things look or what is happening out there. This is always here. And so I've spent, as so many of us have, in whatever ways we're doing it, I've spent the last 5 years disassembling these imprints and layers. And so many things that 5 years ago or even a year ago or 2 years ago that would have really, I would have found difficult to navigate, I can I can find my way. I can turn towards things in a way that I was never able to before, and that's an absolute joy. And this is why I love sharing anything I have to share with others from my experience, because it's for each of us to find that a way to actually just be without all the nonsense about what supposed reality, how we've been brought up, conditioned programs, what our formative experiences are, what our ancestors, all of that stuff. It's like to be able to just actually take that off and have the experience that every single breath, every moment, everything is synchronicity. And we're never separate from that. And when we can take more and more of these layers off, we can access and move with that in the most beautiful ways. As I say that, let me just rewind to abject fucking terror in this body and this experience, totally lost in mental stories, dialogue, projection, external, has all authority. I've handed it away into fiction because of a new experience, several new experiences, many new experiences, but because I haven't yet lived as a physical, showing up, physical being. I haven't lived this authenticity. I haven't lived this being without those clothes on. And I'm not suggesting that I don't know whether I ever get completely naked. I hope so. Again, we can take that anyway. But for me, I believe that, of course, like the clothes are just an illusion, and the nakedness, the beingness, is all that there is, and it's just the nonsense of the mind that is just sitting over the surface. But that nonsense in the mind fuels into the body, or the body fuels into the mind, and they link together, and alert the old survival and security mechanisms, which I have, once they're alerted, some of mine are really, really active. I think all of us have them. They're not something that, these survival mechanisms are not something that we're ever gonna, well, I can't say ever, but in my experience, I'm not gonna be eliminating those. I have them so that I can run if there's danger. But I don't need them operating for the majority of the things that they can kick in for. So let me come back to this fear. So and my lived experience, because 12 years, almost 13 years, I haven't had any kind of not really. I've worked one-to-one. I've had lots of lovely one-to-one moments. I've been to lots of dance events, and I've done the odd bit of family stuff, and we've done quite a lot of family stuff actually. Not in the way that, not in the social way particularly, but yeah. Anyway, that's been a wonderful area of learning how to disassemble these patterns for me. But I have been very, very reclusive, very disconnected, kind of like, have my borders between myself and other human beings. And that's been necessary, and now I find myself, like, I know that it's time for reconnection, and it's time for reconnection in this way, without all my ways of like charming people, like I have a lot of social skills that I used to use, which some of elements of them are fantastic, but actually the motive behind most of them was so that I could suss out what was happening with other people, and then I would work out my position to get whatever it was I wanted. And all of those are just mental nonsense constructs. And so the reason I've been so scared is simply because I've been making some new friendships and some new relationships in a place I don't know. I'm in India. Everything's fucking insane here. I don't really understand anything. People speak different language. There's all these different customs and rituals. And I had a meeting with somebody. Nothing ever happens by accident. Either everything's an accident or nothing's an accident. Both are true. Uh, but for me, uh, just I met somebody who was interesting, somebody from around here. And there's been a bit of harmless flirting and text messaging going on, and suddenly, I mean, nothing's even happened. Maybe nothing will happen. It doesn't really matter. But suddenly, I don't know how to, my survival stuff kicks in, and I suddenly have given the authority over if I'm afraid and I'm not actually in a survival situation, I've just handed that energy to somebody else, or some fictitious external situation to do whatever with, and I'm lost. I'm lost in it. I'm terrified, trying to figure out what is it that I have to do here to make sure that either they like me, or that I look okay, or that they think what I'm saying is of value, and all of these things will be connected to, do I belong? Do they think I'm okay? Do I belong? And do they like me? Whatever it is, it's going to be the most basic. It'll be to do with safety and security, which is tribe and belonging. If I say the wrong thing, if I look the wrong way, if they don't like what I just said, what do they think of how I just behaved? Do I look okay? All this kind of nonsense. Which is, when I say nonsense, like, there are elements of that that are completely natural, but the scale that it's kicking off within my own system is, there's nothing natural about this whatsoever. This is self-defense and it's preservation. And so it's to do with tribe, belonging, and value. My worth is dependent on what they think. They're the judge. And then the other one that's been kicked off in these powerless patterns is the domain of who has the autonomy over the feelings of this being, and who has the authority. And if I'm shit scared and trying to control and manage how I appear to get something, some kind of response from somewhere else, I've literally just handed that over to, like I said, to something that doesn't even exist. It's not true. Yeah, and that's exactly what state has happened for me in my own experience. And the most irritating, not irritating, the saddest thing to note with that actually was the huge amount of self-shaming that happened as I'm feeling afraid. Instantly, there's this other aspect that comes in going, you have no right to feel scared. What the fuck are you doing? You should know better than this. You've done all this work. You know how to flip. And it's just like this massive, I've got this massive stick, and I'm just hitting myself with it for having feelings, for feeling scared, that it's shameful, that it's wrong, that I'm a fraud, that, who the fuck am I, to have this feeling? Why can't I change it instantly and shift out of that state? And this is 14 minutes into this video. This is exactly what I want to bring now to this dialogue, is that for me personally, my cellular body, my physical body, I've done work a year ago with an intimacy coach where I deliberately, consciously went into, after doing a lot of stuff, removing these patterns in this other way with the work that I've been doing. I deliberately wanted to go and work with somebody to disassemble anything residual in this cellular structure, because parts of my organs, parts of my physical body still carry some memories. It's like there's still imprints in here. And I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but part of me does. But it's like, until I can be prepared to feel something that's potentially would be saying, oh, this is a threatening situation, until I can allow that feeling to come in, and instead of closing down and turning away and faking it, to actually really open towards that and bring all of that fear and really go right into the middle of, like, in. And to do that, the only way that I can, for me, that I can do that is to speak about it, to own my fear, to own my vulnerability, to own the wanting to look good to somebody, or wanting to, like, whatever it is, to not want somebody to see my fear. This is what the hiding is. This is what the massive fear is. It's like, fuck, I'm scared and I can't show it. Don't show it, because if you show your fear, you're vulnerable. And the only way for me to navigate towards that is to speak it and actually live it, be it, again, like come towards, and it doesn't matter. This is nothing to do with the guy, whoever it is that's flirting. This is to do with me daring to expose vulnerability at the same time as being able to do that at the same time. How can I be completely exposed and open and vulnerable? Vulnerable is a bit of a weird word there. Be completely exposed and open and authentic and own all my fears at the same time as maintaining the essence of, and I'm this, I am this being, and I'm not needing or not even needing, I'm not offering that to get something out there. I'm not offering it because I lack something. I'm literally standing here owning my fear and my vulnerability, and knowing that I can do that and still be 100% the source of my own safety and the source of my own energy, the source of my authority. I'm the source of my self-worth. I have the absolute capacity to show up and say, I'm fucking scared, and I value myself. I value being able to express my feelings. I'm not looking for somebody else to go, that's okay. I'm not looking for them to go, oh, I'm not going to frighten you. It's nothing to do with their response. It's nothing to do with them. It's to do with being able to show up exactly as I am and let it go. What is it that I'm holding on to? It's me that's holding on to that fear. Nobody else is doing it. It's just me. And but when I say that, physically, I can know all this stuff. You know, we all know loads of stuff inside out, but this is about, like, my lived experience My experience of being a human being in this moment and this reality around me is the absolute opposite of anything that I ever understood or knew or grew up with. And it takes, for me, it takes being willing to let go and surrender all the mental constructs that have created and built a mechanism to keep me separate from, under the illusion of safety and security, keep me separate from the absolute web of pure cosmic love that is always here, entering. Like, if I remember someone showing me that Taurus field. Every single leaf, every particle, every noise, every email, every glance on the street, every voice of anger, every fear. These fears are gifts to be able to signal, it's okay, there's this thing here, and it's like a pointer. And I've known this is what I've been doing for these last few years, but there are still physical, felt, lived, moment-to-moment experiences that until I turn towards the things that I'm afraid of, and actively take action towards and into it, how can I release the story? How can I? For me, there isn't any other way. I have to live it. I have to be it. So this is why I always come back to this, like the integration of our actions, our doing with our being. But it's being able to take those actions from a place of here, rather than being lost in that nonsense out there. And I have to say, I've been really, really surprised at the high level of fear that my body's experiencing. But I know where I've come from, and I know what my last experiences were in this kind of area, and that's all that's moving. It's like nothing. It's all just thought processes, and but there, and I know there's a lot of people saying, and I can feel it, but I still have to live it. A lot of people saying around me, just in the last week, like, and I keep hearing it pop up, like the awareness and thinking cannot be happening at the same time. Pure, like, awareness and thought processes, and so awareness only comes when the thought processes are not busy doing their stuff, and yeah. But for me, my mental spinning is that mind spin still has the capacity, obviously, with what's just happened, still has the capacity to get hold, but it's only in turning, it's a gift. It's such a gift, because it's only in experiencing that and realizing it's a signal for something else to move towards, that I can open more fully and more authentically, and have less and less to fear, because there's nothing to fear. I had an experience, I've just finished with, I had an experience where, it's quite funny actually, I really got into the drama of it. It was a few weeks back, and I was up in a different part of India, and I was alone in an apartment, and I actually thought there was a chance that I was going to die, and I was really afraid, of the physical stuff that was happening. And then I suddenly realized that the thing that I was scared of was that I was going to die. And once I realized what I was, what the feelings were telling me to be afraid of, it was like, oh, is that all? Oh, it's fine then. We can just relax now, and relax into the experience. And it's kind of like, that's a funny example to give, but it's like my body has been saying, this is life or death. This nonsense about how I'm showing up. And it feels like that. It's like suddenly like everything feels like life or death. So it's a great relief to make a 25-minute video. I need to do some writing, and not I need to, I really want to write. Doo-doo. And it's actually laziness that makes me make videos. And this is so long, who's going to fucking listen to it? But I'm going to post it anyway. So, from India, and wherever you are, whatever's happening in front of you right now, you're it. You're it. And I'm it. And nothing is as it seems. We all have the capacity to move mountains in the blink of an eye. It's just that we've been schooled and conditioned and programmed a completely other way. And it takes a lot of, what does it take a lot? I find, when I say it takes, I was going to say it takes a lot of willpower and determination or something to like keep going. Yes, that's nonsense. Yes, I'm still going. Nonsense, I'm going this way. Nonsense, I'm going this way. And actually when I say that, I kind of go, I'm not even sure that I'm choosing, because to not go towards what is true is more uncomfortable than to actually open to what's true. It's so uncomfortable staying in a place of lack and fear and limits and belief in what nonsense is being peddled out there. It's actually so uncomfortable in that dynamic that it is the choiceless choice to open to what's true. So, and finishing with the reason that my way that I turn towards stuff is by doing this, making videos, or speaking directly to people, and like voicing my stuff. The only reason that that's my way of turning towards things is because that's how I move energy. And that is the best information that I could have had, because it gives me instant energetic resources to navigate stepping out of the story, and to move with that in action. Not, once I can unhook and recognize the reaction that's happening, which doesn't normally take 2 fucking days, but that's how I move energy. And this is something that I have offered here, because I'm currently posting this on wherever it is. In fact, I realized this is quite long, so I'm going to have to do it as a YouTube video and then put it on Facebook. But this is where you'll be watching it. If you want your energetic design to give you more information, your energetic qualities, I'm going to stop calling it design. If you would like your energetic qualities, send me a message and I will send them to you. For now, with no charge, because, yeah, send me a message if that's something you want, because it's a part of the resources that I use that I really wouldn't be without, and it's part of what makes the being game. Yeah, anyway, so that's me, and it's nothing we don't know about ourselves anyway. It's just information for us, if we want to use it. I wouldn't know any other way. It's who we are. So anyway, I'm going to stop talking. 30 minutes, sending you all love, and yeah, nothing is as it seems. Literally, nothing. And you're it, and no one's coming to help. It's all on you.